Let's see the sixth question. The structures of polysaccharides, disaccharides, and monosaccharides relate to their roles in living organisms. They are all types of carbohydrate. The table shows the main type of carbohydrate present in some foods. So, the first question, which row of the table shows an example of polysaccharide, disaccharide, and monosaccharide? You know, starch is a polysaccharide, and disaccharide, maltose and sucrose are both considered as disaccharide. In monosaccharide, only fructose is considered as in this table. So according to that, starch, sucrose, fructose, the only answer is D. Let's move on to the second one. Lactose is a disaccharide composed of galactose and glucose, which are two monosaccharides, right? So complete the diagram to show a molecule of lactose. During the formation of lactose, what will happen? A water molecule is formed. So H will be attached to two of these monosaccharides, and in between the bridging one is the oxygen atom. So this is how you have to draw that. Next question. Glycogen is another carbohydrate. You know glycogen is a polysaccharide. Describe the structure of glycogen. So the main points you have to write is it is formed by many molecules of glucose, or you can even write it as polymerization of many glucose. And it is joined by two types of bonds, namely one for glycosidic bond and the one for 1,6 glycosidic bonds. And it is also considered of many side branches. It's a branch structure. So these are the 3 points that you have to write for the structure of glycogen. So let's move on to the next part of the question. The graph shows how the blood glucose level of a person changes during one day. Calculate the maximum change in blood glucose level after the first meal is eaten. So you can see according to this graph, the first meal, they have shown 3 arrows. So first meal, second meal, and the third meal. So the first meal starts at the point of 78, okay? So this is 78 because one box represents 2 digits. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 box from 70, that's 78. And first, after the first meal and before the first meal. So before the first meal is 78 and after the first meal is pointing like 108. So this is 108. So you have to calculate the maximum change. So change is 108 minus 78, which is going to be the answer as 30. And you know the answer should be in milligram per decimeter cube because we are calculating in the y-axis, right? So you have to put the units as well for this question. So answer is 30 units is milligram per decimeter cube. And C part of the question, carbohydrate metabolism includes the group of chemical reactions that break down carbohydrate. Some of these reactions convert one type of carbohydrate into another type. The flow chart shows what happens to some of the carbohydrates that we eat. So when we eat carbohydrate, what will happen? It will pass through the digestive system and it is broken down into smaller units called the monosaccharides. And these carbohydrates are transported around the body. Which transported? That's monosaccharides, right? Which circulate around the body in the blood. And some carbohydrates are used by cells in the body and others are stored in the liver cells. So excess may be stored in the liver cells and others will be used for the body, by the body, right? So explain how carbohydrates are metabolized, transported, and used in the cells of the body and stored in liver cells. So you have to use the information as in the question, your knowledge, and also write about the roles and properties of carbohydrates during transport mechanisms. So first point that I have written is carbohydrates are broken down by hydrolysis. You know, during the breaking down, they are utilizing this hydrolysis mechanism and with the use of enzymes, which speed up the rate of reaction. So enzymes are catalysts, which speed up the rate of reaction. So here the starch is broken down into smaller units called the glucose. They are the monosaccharides and starch is insoluble in blood, and once they are broken down into glucose, they are soluble and get transported. So that's why sugars such as glucose are soluble and get transported. Then glucose passes into the blood by facilitated diffusion. And there's more glucose in blood and they will get dissolved easily in blood plasma as they are polar. So glucose molecules are polar molecules, so they will get dissolved easily in blood plasma. Glucose passes into cells by the facilitated diffusion and it is used as a respiratory substrate and stored in the liver as glycogen. So some blood, like some glucose will be transported in the blood, right? So they are used as respiratory substrate. They are the essential ones. If there's excess, what will happen to the sugar? It will be getting stored in the liver as in the form of glycogen. As per glucose homeostasis, we have to explain the last points. These are the points that you have to write as per the question.